Vladimir Putin signed a law stating that they will no longer allow any sex changes in Russia. Putin signed a law banning sex changes in Russia. The legislation prohibits medical interventions linked to transitioning, except when they are needed to treat birth abnormalities. Very interesting. And here's what it says. It says, Russian President Vladimir Putin signed a bill banning sex reassignment surgeries into law on Monday. The legislation, aimed at lighter regulation of what MPs described as the transgender industry, bans legal sex changes and medical interventions associated with transitioning except due to serious medical grounds. Administration of drugs and surgeries associated with gender reassignment therapy will now only be permitted in cases that require treatment of reproductive organ deformities in children. Only licensed clinics linked to the Russian health ministry can now make decisions of such treatments and issue relevant certificates, the legislation says. People can also no longer freely change their sex on IDs and other documents. Those who do not, or who do so, may not adopt children until the new law, or under the new law. Married couples can also have their marriages declared invalid if one of the spouses changes their sex. According to Russia Deputy Health Minister Evgenia Kotova, over 2,000 people legally changed their sex in the country between 2018 and 2022 when the practice was legal. State Duma advisor Vyacheslav Volodin blasted what he called the Western transgender industry and defended the reasoning behind the law. The number of gender reassignment surgeries in the U.S. has increased by 50 times over the last 10 years, adding that around 1.4% of all U.S. teenagers aged between 13 and 17 identified themselves as transgender in 2022. What? More, almost 2%, 1 out of 50 people who's under the age of 17 identify as transgender. That is crazy. That's like the amount of people that have ADHD. Now, all of a sudden, you're in the wrong body and you don't have the right sexual organs. This is the path leading to the degradation of the nation, he said, stating that the newly adopted law was designed to avoid such a scenario. The legislation still allowed the treatment of relevant diseases. There are conditions that can be identified during childhood, he said. Yet, when a person changes sex because they woke up in the morning and decided they are not a boy or a girl, that is just wrong, said the Duma head. According to the top Russian senator, Valentina Matvienko, the law has received many positive responses from European nations. Trans rights activists still blasted the law, arguing that it seriously diminishes the rights of transgender persons in Russia. Critics also claim that the legislation's wording creates uncertainty related to treatment of certain diseases not linked to gender reassignment procedures, like mastectomies for women genetically predisposed to breast cancer. Kremlin spokesperson Dmitry Peskov said on Monday that all such issues have been reviewed by experts while the bill's text was still being debated in Parliament. All those questions were answered, he said, adding that risks associated with the law had been minimized. Well, so I've claimed my opinion on this several times. I don't think anybody should be getting a surgery because you have a mental illness. It doesn't help anything. It just furthers your mental illness. If you have schizophrenia and you, or here's a better example that we've seen play out with those clips, right? There was a woman who thinks that she was blind. She should have been born blind. I just know it. I'm a blind person, yet she can see. I just know it. I'm a woman, yet I just was born with a penis. Just because you have that mental illness, which I'm sure is difficult to deal with for anybody in that situation, that's got to be horrible if that's truly how you feel. Now, I think that's a far lesser percentage of the people than who are doing it for attention or because they have maybe other mental health issues going on. But it's got to suck. That sucks, right? Believing that you're a blind person when you can see. Geez, what a terrible thing to deal with. And then that lady put Drano in her eyes so that she actually became blind. Now, if you want to cut your dick off in the kitchen and call yourself a woman, go right ahead. But should any licensed medical professional aid you in that or do it on your behalf because you believe that you are something that you are not? No, that's not how medicine works. That's not fixing you. That's physically harming you. So I agree with this. I don't think anybody should be getting gender reassignment surgery. I don't think you should be getting your dick cut off and then inverted inside of you. And then you like, have you guys heard of all this? Like what you actually have to go through for that to be a thing? They have to insert something into this orifice that is self-created by these medical professionals every single day so it doesn't close up on them. And they turn into a literal Ken or Barbie doll. And then it gets infected, and it's like this, ugh. Why would you want to do that to yourself? And why would a medical professional encourage it? Besides profitability, which is what we know it's about, right? So I don't disagree with this. I don't think anybody should be able to go to a medical office and have a doctor aid them in perpetuating mental illness. Now, I think you should speak to a therapist. I think that you should get help, and I hope that you feel better in your body. I've talked about this endless amounts of time, and I hate that I have to continually discuss this topic. It's so stupid. It's literally my least favorite thing to discuss. It's the most uninteresting topic that I have to talk about so consistently here, but I have to talk about it because other people, all these things are going on consistently about how stupid we are and actually playing into this. Ugh. Anyways, I don't disagree with this. There's my thoughts.
Adam's Archive.